What's up guys, Nick from Comic Culture here. I have a very special video to show you guys. This is the Chainkata exclusive retailer edition Ashcan. So the next big book from Daniel Warren Johnson is right here in front of us in an Ashcan form, and I kind of wanted to do a flip through with you guys. I'm not necessarily going to go through all the story beats, but I'm going to talk about what I love about Daniel Warren Johnson in general. I will flip through the pages. You can see what the interior art looks like. This is a special edition, kind of black and white with some spot color inside of it. So I thought I'd just kind of flip through it, talk about Daniel Warren Johnson, what I love about him as a creator. You guys get to see what this Ashcan looks like in the process. If you want a more spoilery type video where I walk through the actual storyline, maybe I could do that too. Let me know down below in the comments. But let's get into this book. So Daniel Warren Johnson's been talking about this for quite some time, for several years now. This is the Ashcan comic here. So Chicks with Chainsaws in Space was basically the elevator pitch that he was giving people when he was coming out with this. He recently just got done with Transformers and The Moon is Following Us. And so this book is very much in the same vein from an artistic point of view. It kind of feels like a little bit of like Old Man Skywalker. It feels like Beta Ray Bill when you look inside of it, but it's really cool. There's a really interesting way that he's doing the art in this as well, as far as the layering and the backgrounds go. He does go over this process on his Friday night lives that he was doing. He showed off some of the original artwork too, but this painterly, watery color, oily kind of a look here, it's very layered, and he had to do a lot of cutouts in here to make this look right, and do a lot of re-inking around this too. So a lot of work went into coming up with this new aesthetic style here that we haven't really seen before in a lot of his work. But the generalized story here is there is a young girl, and she is basically part of this warrior race. They have this chainsaw that's in their family possession. There is a combat style very much similar to the Christian Bale movie Equilibrium. They had this fighting style called gun kata. So this is Chainkata. So essentially it's this fighting style with these chainsaws. Again, there's like warrior race, and this one woman is kind of traveling around and trying to find some artifacts, right? She has a lot of secrets. There's a lot of family dynamics that are inside of here too. A lot of legacy, a lot of flashbacks to some training sessions and everything. But this is absolutely incredible from an artistic point of view, and I just love having the black and white versions right in front of us. Now, I cannot wait for Mike Spicer to do his thing and just absolutely make this look incredible, but the black and white art is something to behold on its own. And again, we get this cool splash of color inside here. Again, that layering technique. I think what he was doing was he actually creates this background. He has this too, and he did some kind of layering here with like a light box, and he was able to X-Acto knife out a lot of these things. It gets kind of iffy in these areas over here. Then when he, overlays this stuff, he had to re-ink the edge lines over here. But I mean, I'm sure he had to add some splatter in some of these more difficult areas, but really cool effect nonetheless.
Shout out to everybody who watched me pull out an X-Acto knife and basically have to like lay it down, use a light box, cut out, basically like screen tone, but then you have to go back over all of your line work to make it fit, because like you can see like right along that line. I can't zoom in anymore, but that I had to ink like on the mineral paper over the acrylic paint to make it all line up.
So it is a story about this young girl, and she's kind of following up with these artifacts. She gets on the radar of these bad guys, and of course she gets captured, and she has to find her way out. But this book, like a lot of Daniel Warren Johnson's book, is all about family. It's about heart. It's about overcoming the odds. It's, just packed with emotion and just like raw energy. You know what I mean? This particular panel here, I remember watching one of his late night shows, and he was actually drawing this panel here. The reduction's insane because I remember it being way bigger than it is right now, but I remember him drawing all these little teeth and trying to get the perspectives right, because it's a very interesting angle to look at this like chainsaw weapon. Again, we have that amazing background color there. Really cool architecture in here as well. Now, he did a lot of that inside of Beta Ray Bill. He does it in a lot of his books, but this mechanical, kind of like Kirby-esque type of a landscape is really something to look at and really interesting. And, again, I cannot wait for Mike Spicer to come in here and really tear this book up. There's going to be lots of monsters, lots of mayhem, just absolute craziness. There's some really cool things happening in these panels down here. It's a little bit blurred out. Not blurred out, but there's a little bit of a fogginess or like transparency inside of this artwork here. And yeah, it's really cool. The automatopoeia that he throws into the background, the way that he fades it through is really cool. The compositions alone, lots of layering in the panel work, diagonal panels in here mixed with more traditional block style panels. You know, he just does an amazing job of making your eye move in different ways, page to page, right? You don't exactly know how you're going to be reading each page, but then all of a sudden you have this perfect guide, and the way that he does his artwork, the way that he does his action scenes, full page spreads mixed in with some cool 3-panel vertical layouts on the side over here. Pretty unique and different with that automatopoeia stretching across the entire thing. Very, very gnarly page right here. And then he switches it up, you know, a very similar landscape, but then he puts some panel work across the top to show some movement leading into the scene down below. Incredible stuff. And again, throughout this issue here, just like a lot of his other issues, you are getting these action beats, you are getting all this carnage and everything, but they're weaving in all these very emotional story beats as well. So you're not just getting just big, dumb, raw action, you're getting a lot of cool character context on top of everything too. So you want to root for the character, you know, not just because they're a badass, but also because they have these motives and this legacy they're trying to live. One thing I'm noticing about this particular series so far is the real thick panel borders in here. He's got a real thick outline all the way across the top, but even in between some of these panels over here, a little bit unusual from what I've seen from him, but really works well in this format. Now, as I was reading through this issue, we're getting towards the end of the issue. As I was reading this part, I felt like my blood pressure was rising, my heart rate was rising. I was like almost cheering out loud for our character because this is an amazing first issue. A lot of cool things happen in it. And it's just one of those books that makes you so eager to pick up the next issue. So he's doing a fantastic job with this one so far. It is coming in the fall of 2026. A lot of news is going to come out of San Diego Comic-Con about this. There's going to be some Ashcans and maybe some exclusives available at that convention, so be on the lookout for that. I'm sure they'll be on eBay if you're interested, but I wanted to give you guys a quick walkthrough of Chainkata issue number 1, the Ashcan, the exclusive retailer edition. I'm really excited about this one. Let me know what you guys thought about it down below in the comments.